Hello fret friends, this is going to be a very, very special video, and this just shows how blessed I am to do this job. And I have a bass guitar here in parts. Believe it or not, this has been shipped to me from Japan by a guy named Kitao Takanobu, or Takanobu Kitao. I don't know which way you pronounce his name. He's got Takanobu Kitao or Kitao. But on this one it says Kitao Takanobu, so whichever way, he shipped me a bass guitar from Japan for me to fix. How blessed is that? And not only has he sent the bass, which I'm going to do an unveiling in a minute. I have opened the box because he also sent me, he says, I've sent you some Japanese snacks and goodies in there. So I was so eager to open the box. I opened the box last night. I've not taken the bass, I've taken the bass out, I've not watched it though. It's all wrapped up. But I did take the snacks out, so I'm just going to show, before I tell you what guitar this is, I'm going to show you this. And this could not have gone better, because my wife is absolutely mad for anything Japanese. I don't know why. My wife's Canadian. She was born in Canada, she lived in Canada until she met me, and she moved here 11 years ago. But look, these snacks, I'll show you the snacks first. These are amazing. I don't know what these are, probably some corn type of snack, but it's a piri curry flavour. They are amazing. I know they look like Wichita grubs, but they taste absolutely awesome. And it's been really hard not to eat all of them. These, I'd imagine these are roasted peanuts with, and these little things that look like grubs are actually, I'd say they were kind of rice puffs coated in soy sauce. So you've got the roasted peanuts with soy sauce rice chips. That again, absolutely stunning. Then you've got these, which are like a boiled sweet, a milk flavoured boiled sweet. I would have thought I'd like these, but these again are absolutely brilliant. So that's the snack side of things. Fantastic. Really hard to not wolf them down last night with my wife. But then here we get to the goodness, and this is like, you'd think this would be something like ramen, and it probably is a little bit, but this looks like it's a cook in the pots kind of thing. That looks like to be some kind of beef chow mein or beef and noodles, which is brilliant. You add, with no English on this, none at all, absolutely no English, but from what I can tell of instructions, you lift the lid off, you top it, it tells you 360 millilitres, I would imagine, of boiling water. You're going to tip that into a certain, and let it stand for 2 minutes, and I'm probably going to stir it and leave it for another 2 minutes. So we're going to have that tonight, both of them. And there's this other one, and this looks really, really strange. And this kind of looks like an omelette foo-young type of affair. Now don't explain to me how you can get that out of adding boiled water. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what these come like. So we've got those two, and then you've got this, which I believe is a curry sauce. And you have this with rice. I don't know if you add anything to it or not. We're not doing that. So boil in the bag, 5-7 minutes. There is, again, there's no English on there. The only thing English on there is the name, Daiso Select, and 5 to 7, as in we take that as minutes, and the date. So we're going to have that with rice tonight, and the 2 pots we're going to have, and it's going to be fantastic. How fantastic is that? So yeah, brilliant, brilliant stuff. What a great guy. Now I'll tell you why he sent me this bass. If you dig right back into my archives, right back a number of years, you'll find that I did a Warwick Corvette bass where the neck was, it was bowed, it was twisted, and it was warped, so it bent that way along its length. It was bowed top to bottom, or front to back, and it was twisted one end. And what I had to do with that is I had to remove and replace the truss rod. Now it was a non-removable truss rod on those, so I had to steam off the fingerboard, blah 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 blah, take the truss rod out, then I had to steam the neck straight, get it as straight as I can, then put the fingerboard, glue it back on, blah 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 blah, then sand it all down, and once I'd done it, the neck was dead straight. You wouldn't have even known that I'd taken it apart. We've got a new truss rod in there and everything. And this, very, very similar thing. I've not taken it out yet. I don't know what model it is. I do know what model it is because the guy told me, but I've forgotten. So I'm going to undo this, or I'm going to unpack this in front of everyone. I'm hoping it's a satin neck, because if it is, it's going to make it a lot easier. If not, I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But same sort of thing. The neck, when he told me what was wrong, he just said snap the truss rod. He didn't say anything about a twist or anything, but when he sent it, he actually sent this. Believe it or not, he posted this on the 21st of January. year of our Lord 2020. I got it yesterday, which is the 23rd. 2 days from Japan at my door. But it told me, it said I've posted it, but I noticed there's a twist in it. It must have twisted over the last couple of weeks. I'm not saying it can't happen, because surely it can when the truss rod snaps, blah blah blah, but whatever. I've told him, well, there's going to be more cost on the job, which he totally agrees with. He's absolutely fine with that, so I'm going to do the job anyway, no problem. So we have a twisted neck with a snap truss rod. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to unbox this now. But what a great thing, someone has seen my work in Japan and said, this is a guy I want to fix my base. He didn't just contact me, he actually phoned me. He called me from Japan. Speaks English, lived in America most of his life. Great guy, talked to me, adamant he wants me to do the job. So that's brilliant, what a sound guy. Other things I've noticed that we have similar. We're both 54 years old. We're both massively into punk rock, and I've been for many years. I've just sent him a link to my first album. My band, by the way, if you want to go and check him out, it's Concrete Socks. I was our former band, it was my band. I made up the name and I wrote the music on the first 3 albums. Go and check them out. Concrete Socks, best album, first one, Your Turn Next. It's like what we call crossover in them days, thrash metal mixed with punk rock. Great album, it's called Your Turn Next. Anyway, go and check that out. But he's massively into punk, I was massively into punk, so we've got that in common. We're the same age. How brilliant is that? And now, obviously, we're friends. So, without further ado, I'm going to take the guitar out of the box. I'm just going to show you the labelling, if you can see it from there, just to show that it is from Japan, which it is. Addressed to Fretboard, there you go. I'm going to take the stuff out of the box, and we're going to have a look at it. He was going to, I just said to him, just send the neck and split the guitar, split it up, send it in parts because it'll be cheaper. So there's the neck, I've not seen it yet, and here's the body. Not really concerned with the body, but I do need the body to set the neck up and everything. So I said, he was going to send the whole base. I said, no, just, you can send the neck. When I thought better of it, I thought, no, you know what, send everything, but split it up. So, you know, otherwise your postage would have been stupid. If you sent it in 120 centimetre box, it would have been stupid. So the body, there's some strings, there's the body. I'm not concerned with the body at all right now, but we are going to have a look at the neck. So I'm going to get ourselves the blade, and this is an unboxing. So we'll see. I'm going to try and save the bubble wrap if I can. I may not be able to. Just see where we are. Okay. There will be an end to this somewhere. Let's just go that way with it. I know it's going to be a stupid amount of bubble wrap. I do want to use this again, so the less I mess it up, the better it's going to be. I can't find the edge. Here you go. Here you go, here's the edge. At the edge. So once you get to the edge, that's going to be one of these affairs, is it? Right, okay, we'll take it off. Again, nightmare, isn't it, bubble wrap? Trying to find an edge. There you go. Once I find an edge, I can follow that line. Not going to work out that way, is it? But let's see what we can do. I will try and pack this as well as he's packed it when it goes back. Even to the point of going out and buying a load of bubble wrap. So you, as well as me, have seen the neck for the first time. Now, the truss rod itself, I imagine it'll be a 630mm, same as the last one. I can go and get one basically from Warwick direct. It will cost, it's a satin neck, which is fantastic. There you go. There you go, it's going to be brilliant. So, discard that for a minute and go back in the box. So here's the neck. Very familiar. Exactly the same neck as was on the Corvette. That has got some weight. Oh, that's brilliant. So, yep, can see all of this. So let's have a look at the truss rod. Yeah, it's absolutely knackered, that truss rod. So I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. We're going to get it all bolted up. I'll tell you what, this will be better when I've done it than it is now. The actual fingerboard has shrunk a little bit on top of the neck itself. Looks like a nice piece. I don't know what wood that is. It looks like a piece of wengi, is it? Wenge. But that is not smooth at all. So steaming this off is going to be good. That means this has not been oiled. This has been dried out. It's gone dry and it's shrunk. That's always going to cause a problem. But anyway, there is a stamp on there. I don't know what are these serial numbers work on these bases. So it's that's a streamer. Such thing as a Warwick streamer. That does seem to ring a bit of a bell. Warwick streamer. Frets. I might end up paying a fret job on this. I'll talk to the guy. This is not going to be cheap. We are looking in the region of, I've already told the guy how much it's going to cost. I think we're looking in the region of, it's all to do with time. We're going to be heading towards £400 for this, I think. I would be saying something like 350 seems pretty much right. If the neck wasn't twisted, it would have been cheaper. But anyway, regardless of anything, he didn't want to go and buy a new neck. Would cost probably as much as a base. I don't know if you could get a second-hand neck. But the thing is, the truss rods do go on these. They are a weak truss rod for such a heavy instrument. They're pretty much the same thing on the Corvette I had. I do like these nuts. These are height adjustable nuts, I believe. Should have some Allen keys in these two holes, like so, there and there, and it means your nut is height adjustable, which is really, really bad. Yeah, but you've got two grub screws there. I imagine they go with an Allen key. What a fantastic piece of kit that is. Really, really love that. We're going to have the tuners off. So this is an introductory video to the base. Where is my small screwdriver? It'll be out and about somewhere. It's on the bench. You are getting the best of everything, because I know my workshop was quite neat and tidy as you're looking at this angle, but I'll tell you what, the rest of it is stuff all over the tables. Anyway, what I'm going to do is dismantle some stuff, and I'm going to, once this is done, I'm just going to sight the neck and see what I think. I'm going to look at the truss rod. Put all those bits in a bag. Yeah, I think the truss rod's definitely snapped. I think it's poking out. Let's have a look. Okay, it's a 5mm Allen bolt there. Don't know if you can see it. Hold it a little bit far away. Can you see in there? Looks to be a 5mm Allen bolt. Could you have these? I think I got these from Japan. They might have come from Japan. I don't know. There you go. Oh, what's it doing? That's just spinning. It's not doing anything at all. That's snapped. Definitely snapped. Yeah, not doing anything. It's going forwards and backwards, but it's not doing anything. So what happened is, this will have like a T-bar shape. It'll go from there. It'll come all the way down under here. There will be a T-bar, so in a block under there somewhere. What we're going to do with this is, I'm going to drill a pilot hole there and a pilot hole here. We're going to pin those. When we drill holes, one there and one there, one on each corner, and when we remove this, when we put it back on, we'll drive pins in those holes and it'll go back in exactly the right place. So let's have a look here. He did say there's a twist to the neck. If there is, there's not much of one. Oh, there is. I can see it. It's twisting that way. You'll see more when I've got it all on the bench. But that's great. Right, so 2006 neck. The stamp on the neck here is 07, so it's probably a 2007 model. Nice tuners on there, Goto's. I have Goto tuners on my Edwards Explorer guitar. Goto, Japanese gear, fantastic stuff, you can't beat it. In fact, my Explorer has all Japanese hardware. So, okay, we do have a twisted neck. Twisted exactly the same way as the one I had. Right, that's not happened in 2 weeks. I'm pretty certain of that. That's been twisted a long time, he's just not noticed it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to fix that twist. Makes the job a lot more difficult. There's no absolute guarantee that this will stay straight, but I'm thinking when the fingerboard's off, all we've got to get straight is the neck, not the fingerboard. The fingerboard will glue to a straight neck. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to take the fingerboard off and we're going to straighten the neck. This will, like I said, this will glue to anything. But if we put this back on, it's still not straight. We could take the frets out and we could re-ready set. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have to do that. I'm going to twist this back straight once it's off the guitar. We'll get some heat in there. We'll straighten it up. I'm a little bit interested to have a look at the frets while we're here. See if it needs any fret work. Just going to run across with a fret rocker. Straight down the middle. It's a bass. You know, you can get away with a little bit more on a bass, but that seems to be okay. I'll know more once I've got everything straightened up. See, it's hard to tell when we've got a twisting. Now this twisting it puts a whole new perspective on the job. You know, but if anyone can fix it, I can. I've done it before, I've done exactly the same job. Like I say, the last job I did, I should have charged 400 quid for it, easy. I put about 45 hours into it. This job, very hard to price up. I'm thinking in the region of £350. Shipping wise, I should imagine it's 75 quid each way. It's not fully insured. December 2006, neck. So that's what we're looking at. Frets seem to be okay. I could give them a bit of a polish and a bit of a clean up. Main concern is getting this twist out. That's going to be the most difficult part of this job. It always is. Steaming the neck, the fingerboard off and getting it back on. It's not a major concern. There's a couple of dings in it on this side here. That's all right. We'll get rid of all that. And yeah, what I'll do with this as well is once we get all back on, we'll sand it all smooth. I'll scrape it down the side because we've got a bit of an overlap between the neck and the fingerboard. The fingerboard is not quite as wide as the neck itself. We'll sand all that down. What I'll do is then I'll give it a couple of coats of boiled linseed oil. So next thing I'm going to do is going to get the tuners off, but that's it for now. This is the introduction part of the video. I've got a pretty good idea. In fact, I know exactly how I'm going to commence this job. Like I say, I've done these before. I've straightened these necks before. No problem getting the fingerboard off, getting the new truss rod in, blah 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 blah. I can't order a new truss rod till I've got the fingerboard off. This is something I'm going to be not going to be doing it this week. I'm not going to be doing it next week. I've got a refret to do next week on a fantastic guitar. So commencing the week of, what day are we today? 24, 25, 26. I'm thinking round about 2nd of February. Week commencing 2nd of February, year of our Lord 2020. I'll commence this job and we'll crack on and get it done. I think I'm going to have. It's going to take me a week at least to do this. If I'm not working, if I'm not working out on my rounds at Royal Mail, I'll be on this. But if I'm working for Royal Mail, that takes precedence over everything. So no time limit on this. It's just about getting the job done right. It's my job to get the neck as straight as I can with a new truss rod in there. He sent the body so I can test it on the body. I've told him there's no guarantee that the neck will stay straight. I will do my best. I will get it straight. And at the end of the day, I've got to wonder why it twisted in the first place. Now, so we've really got to put that part of it right. We can twist it back. Maybe over time it'll go back again. I don't know. We'll have to see, but this is the second Warwick neck I've had with the same problem, twisting that way. So it's got to be a manufacturing fault. Are we drying the wood out? I don't know. At least it's straight down that way. It's not so straight there. There is a good twist in there. Wow. I'd say a 2mm twist this side. We need to bring that down 2 or 3 millimeters on this corner. I can tell from here. It's a good twist that is, but I've fixed it before, so we'll have a good go at it. I'm sure we'll be fine. Could be a fantastic project, this one. Stay tuned. Hey guys, how you doing? Been a while. I've touched this bass. We didn't get around to do it in February. We are now getting toward the end of March, and I'll be specific about the date. It is the 21st of March, year of our Lord 2020. And the reason I mentioned that day is it is mine and my wife's 8th wedding anniversary today. So, toast to that. Glass of wine there, glass of nice red wine. I just want to give a little update on what we're doing with this bass. Now, the owner, KT, said to me, if it needs any fretwork, do it. And I've just had a look at the frets. I've been across with fret level. The frets are level, so it doesn't need any major fret work. But what I have recommended is certainly some tarnishing on the frets. So we're definitely going to benefit from having a polish. But what I've decided to do is, because there's a few flat spots on there, I said, look, we should maybe reprofile them. If we have my neck done, right, and we're replacing the truss rod, we're going to steam the fingerboard off, replace the truss rod, put the fingerboard back on. If you're spending all this money to get it done and you've sent it to England from Japan, we might as well reprofile these frets. Now there's certainly enough height on there, but there are a few flat spots, I don't know if you can see, a few flat spots here and there. If you look at this one in particular, it's not that D shape, it's a bit flat across there. So what I'm planning is to reprofile the whole lot. By reprofile I mean skim across them, make sure we're all level, and just where they got flat spots, we're going to reprofile or re-crown the whole lot. I've not charged him a lot for that because he wants to, obviously cost is always part of a negotiation. I said, look, I'll do it, I'll knock you some more money off of that because you're having so much work done, you're spending a lot of money, you've sent it from Japan, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to do him a complete fret level and reprofile for £50, which is cheap. I'd normally, just for a fret profiling, I'd charge 75 quid. Very rare I do that as a job, and so normally I do a fret level and profile and a setup on a guitar for 115 quid. But because I have so much of the work done and spending so much money, I said I'll do that for 50 quid, you know. And 50 quid, what's that? It's 2 hours labour. I could do it in 2 hours anyway. So nice weight to this neck. It's just like the one I had on the Corvette I did a couple of years ago. So the twist, again, as always, is a bit of a problem. It's also, it's got a lot of relief in there with a truss rod, because the truss rod is snapped. I mean, that neck is, can you see it from there? How bent that neck is. That's going to take some truss rod adjustment. Let me just see if you can see. Get you there and just drop you down there. There is a bend in that neck. Now I'm going to show you the truss rod. It is a, I believe it's a 5mm? Yeah, 5mm Allen wrench. And there you go, 5mm Allen wrench going in there. And it just spins and spins and spins. Look at that. So it's definitely snapped. Well, I don't think it's snapped. What I think has happened is the weld has snapped, not the truss rod itself. The weld is actually snapped on that part. Because I know how this works. It works on a barrel system round here. And I think the weld snapped there. That's why it's just spinning round and round. So it's got to come out regardless. This neck is worse than I thought it was. It's got a lot of bend in there. I would say at least 2mm. Especially on one side. Now the twist goes from, it's high this side but low this side. Can you see that? See if I can get it. There you go. And you're looking on the end here, and this is dipping down on that end. It's blatant, and there's a lot of bend in that. A lot of forward bow in that, or what we call relief. So maybe a slightly bigger job than we anticipated, but I'm still going to crack on with it. The next part of the job is, I'm going to drill some pilot holes, one in this corner, one in this corner, and we're going to pin each hole just so when we take this fingerboard off we can get it back in exactly the right place. And then we're going to steam off the fingerboard with the frets intact. I've already got the neck jig out ready to do that, so I'm going to basically set the level. I'm going to put the neck back on the body so we can get it strapped in really tight, and we're going to steam the fingerboard off. So that's going to be the next part of the job. This is the only job I'm doing this week. Once I've done this job, I've got a couple. There's one more on the board which I'm doing for a friend, so it's not really a job. I'm taking nothing in until not only have I done this, right? I'm going to revamp the workshop, but I'm going to spring clean the workshop. I'm going to gut it, clean everything up, tidy everything, because I've got all this crap laying about over here at the back. Shouldn't be there. I meant to sort it out. I've not had time. I want to get all that sorted out. I'm also doing my tax returns this week because my tax is due April the 1st. I've actually done all the paperwork. But I'm going to have a bit of a spring clean. I'm not taking any more work out. I've got 7 people waiting to bring guitars in. There's refrets in the queue, there's fret levels, there's setups and all sorts of things I'm doing, pickup swaps and blah 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 blah. I'm going to contact the people I need to contact, let them know when they can come in. But I'm thinking now, with the 21st of March now, I'll be thinking I'm not going to bring anything else in now until April. I've got this one to do. I want to get this one done and get it shipped back to Japan. And looking at the board there, I'll clear up what's on the board, but I'm taking nothing in for at least the next 2 weeks, because you know, if I get always tidied up and cleaned up, and I do a spring clean every year, but I do a spring clean, and then I'll be a lot more efficient, and I can take stuff in, I can people proper day. So that's it. That's where I am right now. So next job with this, I'm going to put it back on the body. We're going to get it strapped up in the neck jig, and we're going to set to work. Regarding the twist, I'm not going to remove the twist until the fingerboard is off, because the fingerboard will glue to any surface, and if it's got a twist in the fingerboard, it doesn't matter. If I get the neck straight, it'll glue to the straight neck and it'll stay straight. So the proof is in the pudding. I did one of these about 3 years ago for a friend, and I messaged him and I asked him what the neck was like. He says it's still straight as a die. It's absolutely perfect, and that's after 2-3 years. So I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do the job exactly the same as I did the last one, only this time, because I know what I'm doing, I'm probably going to do it a little bit quicker. So stay tuned. It's going to be a good journey, this one. Come and enjoy it with me. Okay, friends, here we go, and this is going to be one big project. Now, the great thing about this project is it is something I've done before with absolute success, with great success. The one I did of these 3 odd years ago, the neck was bent, it was twisted, it was warped. Anyway, it had backbone, it had a twist, and it was also bent from front to back, left to right, in like a banana shape. And it was a massive job to get it straight, and by whatever means I was able to conjure up, we got it perfectly straight. And I talked to the owner of that guitar less than 2 months ago, asked him what condition it was in. He says the neck is still straight and it's perfect and it's amazing. And so I'm confident we can do exactly the same with this one. So where we are at the moment is I have it strapped to the neck jig I made. It's a variation on the Stumac neck jig. Very cheap to make, very stable, very good piece of kit. Now you'll notice that, well, if you've been watching my channel, you'll notice I've got different straps on here. These are heavy duty straps. This base is going nowhere. It is absolutely solid, and that is what we need. We need the body strapped absolutely solid because we don't want it to move, and it's not going to move. But the problem with this being, there's a lot of relief in this neck, and what we're going to do is we're going to eventually, in time, not straight away because it's not that important, but we're going to actually force this straight. So if I, for instance, stick a not straight edge on there, you will see that there's relief in that neck. I'm going to zoom in and you'll probably see it underneath. So under here there is relief, probably 1.5 millimeters of relief, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this side, and we are going to force this neck down here to get rid of this relief, and that forces the neck straight. Once we've got the neck forced straight, which we're going to do by putting a strap on this side and pulling it down, we're going to place these steel rods underneath to support the neck and keep it straight. We're going to strap it down this side. Once that's done, it's then we can get some steam into the fingerboard using a clothes iron and some really wet damp rags, and we can steam this fingerboard off, which is what we're going to do. Now with that relief in there, it's going to be more difficult because it's going to be harder to get steam in there level. So we're going to force the neck straight like so, and I'll be using, really simple, I'll just be using one of these gubbins. I'm going to zoom back out and I'm going to show you how this is going to work, because we need basically to force that neck into a position it doesn't want to be in right now. Now in time, and when we've got the new truss rod in there and everything, we are going to be able to get this neck straight using the truss rod. Anyway, so I'm going to go back to, remove this, I'm going to lift up this end just so we can get this underneath, because this is going to be what's going to bring us down to where we need to be. Now I'm going to get this actually the other side, I think, because I don't want it in the way for when we straighten this neck later on. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to force this down until we basically force it straight. Really easy. So what we need to do is bring this, right, I can see where I need to be. I need to be right there. So once I'm there, I've got to use my tooth on this. And there you go. You will now see that we have forced this neck straight. Now with it being forced straight there, which is fantastic, it means we can get steam into the fingerboard. We're going to steam the fingerboard off as I did last time. That's perfect. So we're just going to place the supporting rods under the neck, just to keep it stable, not to keep it perfectly level and straight. Because we've got quite a lot of work to do on this. Now it doesn't matter if we get a little movement, it's not important. This is all to help me get steam into the fingerboard relatively easily, with the neck being straight. And there you go. And the neck is now straight. I could probably just come down just a little bit more. Just need to tighten this. And that's fantastic. And that's great. So we can now work on this neck. I'm going to get steam in there. No problem. So I'm going to lift this back up. Drop it back down. And there you go. We now have the neck forced straight. It's going to be so much easier to get steam into that. So how I'm going to work this is I'm going to grab something like an old tea towel. Same way as I did it last time. I'm going to get this nice and wet. Like so, nice and wet, and we're just going to get a steam iron or a clothes iron, and we're really going to heat it up and bang some steam in there. Once we get some steam in there, we're going to prise this side ever so gently with a flat screwdriver just above the truss rod, just to get it lifted. Once it's lifted, I'm going to go through with probably something like a flat bladed carving knife, and we're going to lift the fingerboard off of the neck. Before I do that, we're going to insert some pins, just so we've got a reference of where we're going to put the when we get the neck back on. We've got some guide pins in there, so I'm going to drill two 1mm holes, one in this corner, one in the far corner, tap some pins in there, and we're going to have that reference, so when we put the fingerboard back on, we get the pins back in, we line it up, we knock the pins back in, we have that straight, it'll already be glued up, and we just strap it all up. I'll explain more about that as we get there. So I'm going to stay out of the way of the camera a minute. I'm going to go and prep the clothes iron, prep this, and we're going to start to remove this fingerboard. Okay guys, we're going to steam off the fingerboard. We have the guitar clamped tight, super tight clamps on there, it's not going to move, absolutely fine. We've got it straight, we've got it supported. We have a tea towel I've soaked in water, an old tea towel, that doesn't matter. But what we need to do is to get it started, we need to get a lot of steam in there. We're not going to prise anything out or force anything, we are just going to concentrate right on this end, because I don't want to force anything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to gently prise it up. The iron is on full. It might take a few goes to get it started. I'm going to start this end right under the truss rod, just with a screwdriver. And it's wanting to go already. That's great news. So I'll get another area of the tea towel, and we'll just keep going at it. Like I say, we don't want to force anything. I've done this before and it was much better. The more steam I got in there, the easier it is to remove. So just going to concentrate on this one end for now, just to get it started, because it's all about getting a good start. And that side is still not wanting to come up. This side is. And once we get it started like there, it's half the battle getting it started. And there you see we're moving. We're moving. Look at this. we're already 1 inch in. And if we only just get that inch to start with, that is absolutely fine. And all we need to keep doing is taking our time. We want it to come off clean. We don't want to force anything. Last time I did force it a little bit. I'm not going to force it this time at all. I'm going to take it nice and steady. One thing I've not done yet is drilled the holes for where we're going to replace the fingerboard later. So I'm going to do that in a second. We're just going to have a little look, see where we are. And you see, look at that, look, we're already 1.5 inches in, coming up to the first fret. And that's as much as I want to do right now. But we have made a start getting up to the first fret. So that's how we start it off. It's how we're going to steam it off. It's not going to be difficult. We're going to take our time. I'm going to come back and show you a little bit more of progress. What I'm going to do next though is I'm going to get my drill and we're just going to put some guide pins in. So when we put fingerboard back on, we get it back in exactly the right place. 1 pin there, 1 pin here. So I've drilled in 2 1.5mm guide pins. They will help me line up the neck, getting it back to where it needs to go once we replace the fingerboard. And they're in there with the neck intact. To remove them, really easy. Get a plier, and they're about 1 inch long. These are basically snapped drill bits, so I know they fit the hole perfectly. So that gives us a way to realign the fingerboard when it goes back on the neck. These 2 pins I will put in a safe place. There they are. So I've got them for reattaching the fingerboard, and now we can get in to steaming this neck off proper. So it's going to take me a while. Like I say, I'm going to take my time. We're not going to force anything. But that's it. Just get plenty of steam in there and it will come away really easily. Getting back to the neck itself and straightening the neck, that's something we're going to do later. I'll show how we're going to do that. Basically we can do it on the jig as it is, so we don't have to remove anything. But the first thing to do is to get the neck or get the fingerboard off and get it off clean. So when I've got it off, we're going to clean up all the glue that's on there, because we're going to need to reattach this fingerboard. I can smell the wood burning. There you go, look. It's coming away. And that's it. It's just a matter of taking your time. You just steam more this end. You can't rush a good job. The worst thing is finding somewhere to put the iron out of the way. We're already past the first fret, making our way up to the second fret. And once it stops, once you get more resistance, I'm just going to pull back a little and we're going to steam the next part. So that's it. So I'm going to crack on with this. Move these things out of the way. And there you go. It's going to take me a while. I'll pull back a bit because that's better. And you see how it's going up? So I'm just coming up to the third fret. So there you go. It's going to take me a while. I'm going to stop the camera. I'm going to crack on. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to stick some music on. I'm going to take my time. So I need to make sure this is all wet. But there you go. Going really, really well. But I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to finish it and I'll bring you back once we've got it off. Or once we get to the end of where we want to be. Very excited, guys, we're getting to the end of removing the fingerboard and it's been a long slog, and I just keep going back to the water, dipping in the tea towel, and we're really getting some wetness on this. Now I'm going to get as much wetness as I can on this end because it's going to pop off any time. I've still got the iron and I'm going to try and do this all in one go, so I'm going to get some real good steam in there because I might want to get this to pop off. And there's been some really, really stubborn glue on this neck. So you can see where I am there. Last couple of frets, so I want to make sure I've got plenty of steam right at this end so it doesn't snap. I want it to pop off real nice. And I've done it before and it popped off lovely last time. So we're just gonna, and I think we're probably going to get it this go. And I'm going to stand slightly in the way. I'll get out of the way as much as I can, and there you go. And there you go, guys, and there you go. We have, I believe we have, okay, we've got a little bit of the spline inside still stuck on there, but we're just about off. Going to get some more wet on there. Try and get that, this spline is what runs down the centre of the truss rod channel, so I need to get that free. So maybe, I really don't want to snap it if I can help it. I didn't snap it last time, so we're just going to get in there and we're going to really give it some steam. Some really, really stubborn parts down here, lots and lots of glue inside. And I really have to take my time and be patient because I wanted to just get in there and give it some hammer, but you can't do that. You really got to get some steam in there. You see what I'm doing? I'm not showing it any mercy at all. I need this piece. I need this piece to come off there, and if it doesn't, I've got to get it out regardless. So we have that bit there. It's not going to come, I don't think. I may have to snap it. See how we are. And we've got it, and we've got it free. And we've got the fingerboard off, and it's a little bit bowed. We can certainly straighten that out. We can steam that and straighten that out, no problem. But we have it off now. We have a piece up here trying to get. I've got to steam this out as well. Lots and lots of glue in this position here. Stupid amounts of glue. We're gonna make sure we get all of that off. I'm going to move the camera so you can see where we are because we've got to fix these pieces. That piece has come away from the fingerboard. We've got to glue that back in there because it has come away from the fingerboard somehow. So that's why it's been so difficult down this end. We've not been cutting straight into the glue. So I'm going to steam this bit out. I'm going to move the camera so you can see exactly what I mean. And we're going to steam this bit out separate. So let me get it set up and I'll bring you back in. You can see. So for some reason this bit skipped. I've obviously got the knife above there, which means we've got this channel down the centre. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get this off and we're going to glue that back in. That will be really easy to peel off and glue back in. What I'm going to just do is I'm just going to grab the tea towel again shouldn't take anything. Just going to grab down this side, and we're just going to steam this whole piece in one go so you can get it all peeled off in one go. It may work, it may not, I don't know. Look here, where all the glue is, look, so stubborn, there's so much glue there, really difficult to get past here now, I know why. But what we're going to do is we're just going to get straight in there. And we're going to try and steam this off in one go. It will or it won't. That's not so bad. And we can just keep going in with the tea towel and steaming that area. You can tell I've done this before because I've got no fear. And that explains why that glue is all over there. And that should now have it free. There you go. And that piece is off. And we're going to scrape the glue off there and we're going to glue that back into here. Shouldn't be too difficult. And what we'll do is we'll make sure we sand all this back once it's in. So we're going to clean. All the fingerboard's going to be cleaned up, we're going to get all that glue off, we're going to get all this glue off here. That explains why that glue wouldn't come away, by the way. There's a lot of glue there because that channel was kind of hollow. Any bits where we've got a little bit of excess wood left there, we ain't going to worry about that because those hollows will take glue better. What I'm just going to do is just scrape away what I can. It doesn't scrape away, it's no big deal. We are going to straighten this, we are going to sand this just a little. Get a better scraper than that. So that's nothing to worry about there. This doesn't bother me at all because we've got to steam this neck and get it straight away. What we're going to do next is we're going to try and get this piece of whatever's down the middle out of this channel. We're going to steam that out so we can get at the truss rod. You see the truss rod there and the truss rod there? Now let's have a look at what the truss rod itself is doing. Because it looks like somehow this is snapped, just that snapped, that's, yeah, he has snapped the truss rod. Because I snapped it because it's just turning on the thread. That's a two-way truss rod and the thread goes backwards or forwards, the thread is inside here. Sorry, it's on the truss rod but that just pulls it backwards or forwards. It's not doing anything. So what we're going to do now is we're going to saturate this, we're going to get this channel out of the centre. So we'll see what we can do with this glue. Not a great deal at the moment, we can get all that off later. It says to me with glue in there like that, it says to me that this neck wasn't straight when the fingerboard was put on, otherwise you want to have this big channel of glue down the centre, possibly. So you're seeing this for the first time, as I am as well. At the same time as me. I'm just going to see what this glue is going to do if I try and melt it. Will it come off? Let's have a look. It might stick to the tea towel, that'd be good. And it might not. Let's see what happens. It kind of wants to come off, but it kind of also doesn't, so don't worry about that yet. We're going to get this out. I'm probably going to be better. To get it out this end first, so let's give it a go. See what we can do. I don't remember how I took the other one out. I took it out and it was all bent when I took it out. That wasn't a problem because we straightened it anyway to get it back in. It's about getting the thing out. I even snapped the last one I got out, so again, that is not a problem. That doesn't want to do anything. This could be a problem getting this out. I'm going to get in there with a screwdriver. I'm going to have a tinker about with this. Just see if we've got a screwdriver underneath for now. Yeah, that will come out. We'll get that out. Because that is already starting to come out. Look. So I'm going to crack on. I'm going to keep steaming this out. And I'll bring you back in once it's out. Probably not wet enough this, but a little at a time. See what we can do. And there you go. And that is going to help. I've got a screwdriver in there. There you go. So I've got a start on there. That's fantastic news. So I'm going to whip off, get this out, and I'll bring you back in later. So what I'm doing now, guys, is trying to move this centre channel to get at the truss rod. And it can be difficult. But what we tend to do is got a nice rounded screwdriver under there in the channel, which is fantastic. And it's all about getting some heat in there, or some steam in there, just to melt the glue. And as I do that, I'm able to push the screwdriver in a little bit more and prise out a little bit more, you see, like so. See how that's going? I don't want to go too mad, so again, more wet, get some more steam in there. That's KT video messaging me now because I've been sending photos of the progress of the work. He's sending me some photos of all the stuff he wants looking at. More bases he's going to be sending me, so he's just thanking me for the photos. Let's be patient with this because it will snap. So I'm going to carry on. I'm going to get this out and I'll bring you back in a short while. This end is really stubborn because it's in flush, so I'm going to get some good moisture, some good heat in there. Again, this job is about, you've got to be patient with this. You have to be patient because the stuff doesn't want to come out. So you've really got to get some steam in there. Because it's the only way to get the truss rod out of this, so got to be patient, got to stick with it. Little by little. It's tempting to want to rip this out, but even if I rip this out, we're going to knacker the whole thing. So again, little by little. And yes, it is bending. We can straighten that out. It's just getting some good penetration. I've got to melt the glue that's holding it in. Again. Oh, there you go, that's a nice piece. See, look, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. You see where we are? Just got to get some good steam in there. We'll have it in a second. Let's get a little bit more wet in there. There's plenty of wet there. We're not done steaming yet, by the way. We've got to steam a neck yet to get the neck straight. That's another job we'll do later. But I think we'll probably have this now. And we have it out. How's that? And yes, it's bent. That's okay. We can bend that back, no problem. We're going to strip this back, get all the glue off it. We're going to steam this straight. And we're not far off straight again now. So we'll clean this up, because we will be gluing that back in later. So that's fine, we can clean that up in a while. So there you go. We have access to the truss rod, so we should be able to lift that out. And we can find out what my friend did to this truss rod. Now what we don't want to do is we don't want anything to snap. There you go. So there you go. And there is, I snapped it at the far end, look. That's where we've got the snap. It snapped at the far end. So this bit of weld in there has given way. I need to get that out. If I don't get that out, we're in big trouble. Little prayer. Ask the Lord to guide my hands and show me favour. And there you go, it's straight out. And that's it. The truss rod snapped at the far end. So we're going to measure this and we're going to go and get a replacement. In the meantime, we're going to clear all the glue off here while we're waiting for this to arrive. We'll clear all the glue off the fingerboard. I forgot where I've put that, it's down here somewhere. So now it's just all cleaning process from now until the truss rod arrives. That again is bent. We can get some steam in that and straighten that out. We've got to put that piece of wood back in that channel there, which will do no problem. We'll sand all this back straight. We do have the two guide pin holes here and here, so we can put the neck back in exactly the right place. And the job is a good one. Okay guys, so a couple of things to update you on. So, as you know, we've got a fingerboard off. I've cleaned it all up. I've rescored the part of the neck for when we glue the fingerboard back on later. But just want to show there, I've scraped all the excess glue off, and you'll see I have a damp tea towel on the length of the neck. I probably need it more at this end than this end really, because I need to get some moisture in here, because I'm going to be steaming this to get that twist out. The neck is twisted this end, and it's twisted, I believe, twisting that way, same as the last one I had. And we're going to twist it back this way. Now I'm not going to show you how I'm going to do that yet. I'll explain how I'm going to do it. We're going to basically get a guitar string, put it on this tuner, and tighten this tuner up and bring the headstock round. But with this dampness in it, we're also going to steam it again. So what I need to do is make sure that I've got the neck supported underneath with these steel rods, got it dead straight before we start steaming anything. And once I'm happy that we've got it dead straight, which I will do, I mean it's not far off straight now, it's virtually there right now. Once I've got it dead straight and we're going to get the string on there and get it twisted around, then I'm going to steam it, and that's going to steam it back into position. I've already got the fingerboard ready to go back on the neck. That's all been smoothed off and sanded. I've got all the glue off. I'm going to score this as well, score some X's in there just to make it adhere better. This will line up perfectly because of the two pinholes I put in, two guide pinholes. We've got one there and one there, so I'll be able to get that on dead straight. Now, if with putting the water in this neck, makes the neck swell a bit more and it goes a little bit wider with my fingerboard, it's exactly what happened last time, by the way, or just sand it back in and we'll get it all smoothed off. And so we'll keep the contour of the neck anyway. I'm just going to let this settle. I've got to nip to the physiotherapist shortly, have a session with my physio for a leg injury I've been, leg injury I've had for a few weeks. So I'm going to leave that there. So you're really up to date. I'm going to show you where the truss rod snapped. This is the end, it spins left and right. That stays here, that collar, but the truss rod spins and it snaps at this end. And this is what snapped, this anchor here. That's what snapped off. So I've ordered a new one directly from Warwick. It has cost 44 euros, which in British money, pound sterling, is £43. So it's going to cost him 43 quid, including postage. The postage we expect. Postage was 16 quid. The truss rod itself was something like 27 quid, or 27 pounds. So that's on order, that's on the way. So all I can really do now is get this all prepped, ready for the new truss rod going in. Like I say, today I'm going to get this steamed. And once it's steamed, I've got this straight. It's a matter of waiting for the truss rod. In the meantime, I'm not doing any more work in this workshop. I'm going to have a spring clean. I'm going to tidy this workshop from top to bottom, have a good clear out. And then I do have 7 or 8 guitars waiting to come in. I'm going to start bringing them in pairs by the end of the week. I've got a couple of I've got a refret coming in first, and I've got some electrical work and a telly setup coming in. That's the first two, followed by another refret and a couple of fret levels. So it's all going to be fret work. It's going to keep me busy. But it's going to more important. It's going to keep me earning, and it's going to keep me. It's going to keep my video page going, my YouTube, because I've already got 6 lined up, ready to go out, and I'm going to keep adding to them as we go along. So I've got enough there till I've got 6 weeks of videos queued up still. So the YouTube channel's not going to be short of work or short of videos. So that's great. So it's all looking good. But like I say, I wasn't going to take anything until the end of the month. I decided I'm going to get this workshop done this week. And by the end of the week, I'm going to start bringing guitars in pairs. I'm going to be doing 2 a week. So ideally 1 refret, 1 setup, or 2 fret levels and 1 setup, or, you know, derivatives of that, round about the same amount of time. So I'm looking at bringing 20 hours work in a week, no more than that. And then we'll see how we go from there. But anyway, once I get this all straightened and clamped up, I'm going to show you how we're going to get this neck. We're going to set it and get it straight. And we're going to get some steam in there. And I guarantee it is going to hold, and we are going to get it straight. Okay guys, I'm hoping you can see everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the twist out of the neck, and the twist is this way, just at this end here. So what we've done is we've got the guitar strapped in, supported under the steel rods, and what I've done is I've attached 2 guitar strings to one of the bass tuners. We've got a screw down here which is wrapped around, and what we're able to do is we're going to look to line up these 3 straight edges, and with this and the twist, I think you can just about see, it's not as bad as it first appeared, but what we're going to do is going to get these lined up by just turning this tuner and getting these 3 bars all lined up. And we're going to slightly over tighten this one, and that's it. We've now got the neck in a straight, or got it straight, or got no twist in there. And what we're going to do is, what I've already done is, I should have explained this before, I've got the neck clamped dead straight. I have a Veritas straight edge here. I'm just checking that we have the neck. And the strange thing was, this neck had a lot of relief in it. When it came to me now, it's dead straight because I've sanded it just a little, but we've bent it into shape, and we are perfectly straight. And with this now tightened up, we've removed that twist. What we're going to do is then we're going to get some heat in here to make sure it stays straight, and that, my friends, is fantastic. I'm going to slightly overbend it. That's where it is right now. And what we need to do is we need to not scorch this. So we're going to take a towel, again a trusty tea towel, which is damp, and we're just going to steam. So I'm going to plug the iron in, I'm going to let that heat up, and I'm going to steam a neck, and I'm going to steam it, and I'm going to steam it until the heat has got in. I've got this neck not only straight this way, but we've got that twist removed. Now I've done this before, I did it a few years ago. If you check my archives and go back to about 2017 and check the Warwick base, replacement truss rod or whatever, just put Warwick base truss rod on my channel and you'll find it, and you'll see that I did this job before. So letting the iron heat up, and all I'm going to do is get some steam in there and we're going to straighten it. I will come back and show you how we got on. I've already done this a good few times, so I'm going to carry on. I'm going to show you the effect the steam has. And we are just steaming heat into the neck. I can feel it underneath. The neck is hot. And this is exactly what I want. And I don't want to steam up to here because the twist starts right about the 5th or 6th fret. And what I'm going to do then is, one more go, this will be plenty. That neck is really kind of hot now. In fact, we're going to hold it in this position and let it dry. There's heat all the way through that neck. So what we've done is we've basically forced the fibres back into their original state. Then we ought to be asking why it twisted in the first place. Well, it's not the first Warwick neck I've had with a twist. And I've got another one due in as well, so you tell me why the twist, I don't know. But they do. And this is a second German one I've had in. I've got another German one due in, again with a twisted neck. But anyway, well, it's really hot down there. The steam just went up on my hand. Injury there, slashed my thumb with a Stanley blade earlier. Again, I do it a lot, kind of get used to it. But anyway, there you go. Iron out of the way. That neck is warm, top and bottom. So what we've done now is we have basically steamed the twist out of this neck, I hope. I'm just going to lay these on here and just see if they line up nice. Now that one's a little bit over, which is fine. Rather over than under, and that's fantastic because it has gone slightly over. The good thing about it is I can just twist that back and it's going to stay. Now, hang about. That looks absolutely fine. Just going to get that to hold. And that's it, I don't need any more on that. What I'm going to do is blow that water out. I'm going to let that cool as it is. I may put some more heat in later, I don't know, may not need it. But that alignment looks fine. And there you go, we have the twist out. I'm going to let that stand till it's cooled down. Once it's cooled down, I'm going to remove these strings and we're going to come and check again, and if that's fine, all we're waiting for then is a truss rod to arrive. We'll put the truss rod in, we'll glue the fingerboard back on, and we have a straight untwisted neck. So now we've managed to straighten the neck and we've managed to steam inside. It has freed up all the glue from the truss rod channel, so we can now get it out. And there you go. That's going to give us a nice clean channel to put the new truss rod into. You'll notice, by the way, I don't have the this neck jig locked down anymore. I took the clamps off earlier because I needed to remove the padding on the table so we could strap it to the table better, and then I realised that we didn't need to strap it. So anyway, just removing all the glue from the inside of this channel. I should be able to scrape it all out in a minute, and that's all off. Get a decent smallish screwdriver and we should be able to scrape all of this out, and when it's dry I'll have to brush it all out. But there you go, there's all the old glue from the inside. And all the rest in there is loose. I'll be able to brush it out later anyway. Just need to just means you've got a nice clean channel, because we'll be putting the same piece of I don't know what piece of wood it'll be, but that piece of wood down the centre, maybe it's birch or something, I don't know. This is all like broken bits of and broken noodles in here. So we can get it all washed out. So that's all that crap out anyway. Let's see if I've got a screwdriver which is just about the right width. I should have something knocking about. This looks to be alright. Yeah, there you go. And there you go. That's what's just about out. And that's it. Got all the old glue out, which is fantastic news. It means I'll show you exactly what I mean in a minute. If I remember where I put it. Where did I put it? Oh, I know where it is. That piece of wood that comes down the middle is actually in the bath soaking because it's warped. And I want to bend it back to straightness now. That's been sat in the bath for a couple of hours, so I'm going to go and dry that out now and dry it out straight. Because it ain't going to fit this slot wet, I'll tell you that for nothing. So this piece of whatever it is that goes in this slot. Let's just see if we're going to clear this out even better. I'll take a screwdriver with that in there. There you go. Why did I think about that before? It's a lot easier. And there you go, we've got all that gunk and crap out of there now. Beautiful. That wasn't beautiful, that was horrible. There you go, so that channel is nice and clean now. See a little bit down that side. And there you go, that's all gone. So that's it, nice clean channel there. Just going to let that sit and set for a while. Still a bit more glue in there. Stubborn, eh? And there you go. Much better. That is now clean and ready. We will sand this flat, though, all said and done, that's a lot more level than when it came in. It had a stupid amount of relief in it when it came in. It's now level. And that is wonderful. So we have a level, straight neck. It's going to be absolutely fine once we've got that strung up. Brilliant. Hey guys, I just finished my shift at Royal Mail and the truss rod for the base has arrived via DHL, which is fantastic. It took It's taking 2 days or 3 days, which it ought to for £16 postage, but it's here, so we're just going to have a look inside, make sure it's the right one. Sure it will be. And I've got some good news today. It's tomorrow's my day off from Royal Mail. We work 6 days a week and you have 1 day off per week, and it rotates Monday to Saturday. And it just happens that this week, Saturday's my day off, and next week Monday's my day off, so I've got a long weekend. And under normal circumstances that would be fantastic, but being as everyone's basically stuck at home because of this TV-19 virus, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, I do know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be in here. But, you know, there's not a lot we can do. Fortunately, I have enough work in, certainly to carry me through the next 2 or 3 days, because I've got this one to do, I've got a refret to do, which is fantastic, but I've closed the shop anyway. I've stopped taking work in until this lockdown's over, because you can only travel if it's really essential. I'm sure I'm going to be okay. I've got plenty to do in this workshop. I've got instruments of my own that need work, so I will be cracking on with those. How do you get into this thing, crikey? Okay, let's have a look. Oh, there you go. I've ordered from this place before. I bought exactly the same truss rod a few years ago, so it should be the right one. There it is. And yeah, it's the right one. What a beautiful piece of kit. Let's just check that it fits. Ah, I think you sent me the wrong one. Unless this is just screwed on too far. There's a lot of adjustment here. I think they sent me the wrong truss rod. No, we haven't. Wow, there's a lot of adjustment. That's brilliant. Because I've just totally lengthened that. I'll just get that tool in there. You've not sent me the wrong one. It does have that much adjustment in it. You have about, see how much? Oh, it's a one-way truss rod. I ordered the two-way truss rod. They sent me the one-way truss rod. Have they? No, it goes both ways, it's fine. But it does come off the end. Oh, it's slightly different truss rod, this. I'm not going to argue with that. It doesn't seem to fit this end. I think they've sent me the wrong truss rod. They have sent me the wrong truss rod. It doesn't fit in at that end. I think it's the wrong one. Or I'm going to have to carve out some of that. Right, it's not the wrong one, it certainly fits, it's just I'm going to have to carve some of the neck out. I wasn't planning on that. Right, I need to chip out just a little bit of wood. This end fits fine. I'm going to get that in there, that's okay. And just this end, it may go in. I think it's one of these scenarios that will go in. Once it's in, it will not come out. But that is, again, it's a true two-way truss rod. So let's have a look. Right, I'm taking that off. It can be very difficult to prise back out. It does go in, it fits, it is the right one. With a flat screwdriver, we're going to get that. It's a really, really tight fit. Now that in itself is good news. Right, that is a super, super fit. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I'll probably take a chisel to this. Let's see if we can scrape some out as we are. It will be okay. So long as everything fits. We just need to get it in there snug. Fits beautiful that end. Right. And that is, again, beautiful. Just need to make sure, can you see enough there? I was going to put this in upside down. But let's try and get it in the normal way. Just need to make sure that everything sits flush. Oh, then maybe that doesn't go back up to that end. Okay, we'll whiz this back out. Nice tight fit, which is what we want anyway. What I need to do is make sure I don't tackle this, taking it out. So if I use the long screwdriver again, you are seeing this as I fit it. There you go. I'm going to fit it from this end. I may have to just slightly tap this in with a mallet. I'm not gluing this in, it doesn't have to be glued in. And there you go. We are, oh, that's fantastic, we are right in there. And that is the truss rod fitted, the centre spline back in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, basically, I'm going to tape over this, and that is in nice and snug. Now when I glue this back in, I'm going to tape over this so we don't get glue in that area. It means if it ever needs to come out again in the future, we're going to get it straight out. Now, I'm going to take some 19mm tape. When I glue on, I'm not going to glue down this centre channel, I'm just going to glue at the edges. Now if this is a bit wide, what I'll do is I'll take some off. I think I did this on the last one I did. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some off. It's a bit skew width there, so we're just going to this way with glue. We get the glue where we need it, just not down that centre channel. So we've got a little bit of protection down at that end. And there you go. Doesn't matter if we get any glue in there. I think that is exactly where we need to be. And there you go. So we're not going to get any glue on that centre spline, but we've got plenty of area to glue anyway. I may tidy this up just a little bit at this end, but that's going to be absolutely fine. So ready to glue the fingerboard back on. I'm going to put some score marks in the wood. I'm going to check everything that's as straight as can be. Once it is, we're going to remove the neck from the guitar and we're going to come and glue the fingerboard back on. I've just removed that tape I put on because this end here is a little bit higher than it needs to be. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to scrape that end once I find something decent to scrape with. And I have a couple of things. I've got a Stanley blade and I've got this here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove some of the wood from this end, and a Stanley blade is probably going to be better. And then I'm going to tape it up again, and that is better. Now we're flush. And there you go, that's nice. Just going to make sure we haven't got anything sitting proud. And what I'm just going to do in a minute is I'm going to take a straight edge with some sandpaper on it, and we're just going to... That's beautiful. It's a lot better. Well, it wasn't bad anyway, but that is fine now. It just happens that I do have a long straight edge with sandpaper on there. I believe some probably 120 grit that side, 240 grit that side, and we're just going to level everything off. That's beautiful. Everything nice and smooth. Just going to check fingerboard. Fingerboard's a little backwards bent, so I'm going to straighten this out. Once it's straightened out, I'm just going to check that everything's right on there. That's pretty good. Should go to there, that should go to there. I do have the 2 pins. When it comes to putting this back together proper, these 2 pins will line the neck back up, or the fingerboard back up onto the neck. So what we're going to do is we're just going to try and get these back where they want to be. And that is that neck perfectly lined up with where it needs to be. I could just glue this without even straightening it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to steam this and I'm going to straighten it before I put it back on. But there's the 2 pins, 2 marker pins we created when we removed the neck or removed the fingerboard. That is going to glue together really, really well. We're going to get back in exactly the right place. Just going to check where it's level and straight along the length, which it is. Remove the tension from that. And we have a nice straight neck again. That's fantastic. So I'm going to get everything prepped, ready to glue it back up, and I'll bring you back in once we're ready to get the glue on and get it all back together. How are we all doing, guys? So quick update on the base, and I'm getting a quick update on what's been happening, because I've been talking to the owner of this base, and he asked me earlier if there's any updates, and there's not been an update for 2 or 3 days. Reason being, because I had some time off work. When you work for Royal Mail, you have 1 day off a week. You work a rota of 6 days, Monday to Saturday, and every week you have a day off, and it goes from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So last week it happened that my day off was Saturday, meaning the following week my day off was Monday. So I've had a long weekend. So I thought, on that long weekend, what am I going to do with this CV virus going about and people on lockdown and stuff? What should I do? And there's always something to do with this workshop. I could have gone on with a number of things. I could have finished this neck, whatever. I could have done a refret that I've got in, or I could have done many other things I've got lined up to do. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to strip this workshop and clean everything and put it all back. And you may be looking at it thinking, well, nothing's changed. And you're absolutely right. Nothing has changed, barring everything has been moved and sorted. Barring that rack up there, which I've yet to do. That's the next job on the agenda. But everything you see, this bench, all this bench, everything has been cleared out. All of these drawers have been emptied, cleared out. I've chucked away all the rubbish I don't need and just put stuff back in there, stuff I do need. I've dusted everything. Everywhere's been took. The amount of dust in this place was phenomenal. We've had it clean for at least a year. This bench came out, everything under the bench was checked, cleared and dusted, and I've thrown a load of stuff out. I've got that bench to do there and a little bit to do that side, and that is it. So the workshop is fantastic. I mean, the dust behind here was phenomenal. All of these drawers have been cleared out, they've been stripped. I've chucked away everything I don't need out of all of these drawers. So everything in them drawers now, everything is in its place. These drawers are phenomenal. If you have a look in there, they just fit so well. You know, like takeaway pots or bowls or whatever, and you fit, I've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they fit perfectly in these drawers. So I have 9 of these per drawer, containing different guitar parts, electrical bits, pots, wiring, what have you. I have 11 in there, and again in here, look, that's got knobs, volume and tone knobs. This has got all like lock-in strap lockers, pick-up covers, all Les Paul bridge bits. This has got all Fender parts. We've got screws, every screw you could think of will be in here. It works on a guitar. We've got in here, we've got washers, screws for pots, and blah blah blah, so on and so forth. And again down here, and everything in its place, all nice and neat sorted out. So that is what I've been doing the last 3 or 4 days. Anyway, but let's get back to the base. And where are we with it? Well, I did have it strapped up. We have removed the twist. That neck now is dead straight. Well, it's not dead straight this way. It's still got a little tiny bit of relief in it, but this twist at this end, which was twisted that way, is now straight. I now have the truss rod in, and we have a strip of tape right up the middle just to stop us getting any glue on that spline down the centre. And there you go. And I'm just going to show you the neck and see if you can see, but that twist has gone. We've removed the twist. You'll now see the 2 steel inserts in the neck at this end. So it never twists at this end. These necks only ever twist at this end, but that is now all done. Something else I have done is I have steamed the fingerboard and I have bent it so it's bent that way. Because it was bent the opposite way. It was bent that way before, so I sort of bent that way into like relief. I've now bent it to back boat, and what that means is when we put it on the neck like so, there's going to be a gap in the middle here, but the ends are flat, and when we come to glue this down, when we've got the pins in there and glue it down, it's going to glue perfectly straight. It's going to pull that middle up, so this is going to glue really, really well. So I'm now ready to glue this back on. I'm not going to do it right now. That is clean enough for gluing. It's all been steamed, it's been sanded. I'm going to put some score marks in there. I've already got some score marks in here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically got to cover both surfaces in glue. Going to be going with Titebond Original. If I've got any left, I've got some left. I've got half a pot left. Like so. So we're going to use Titebond Original. I'm going to be putting in the 2 pins we made, the marker pins for. We're going to be 1 in each end of the board. 1 there, 1 there. I'll try and show me in a second. Just bear with me. So we've got 1 there and 1 there, and they will help us to place the fingerboard exactly where it needs to be once we tap these back into the holes. Obviously I'm going to be doing this with the glue on, and then we're just going to strap this up with some rubber banding. I've got a good length of thick rubber banding which we're going to hold it on with. I'll show you more of that when I get to it. But no, it's quite a messy job, so I'm going to cover this table. I just can't get over how much cleaner this workshop is. It really, really works. I just want to get that rack done this week, and it looks fantastic. It'll probably change the acoustics a bit. It's really, really clean, and it makes me want to work in here, you know, which it would do, you know. So great. But anyway, back to the neck. Got my neck as straight as we can get it. The truss rod works fine. I've tested it, and we're ready to glue that on. Now that is not all the work. Once this is glued on, that won't be the end of it. We're certainly going to have some gaps somewhere in the side or in the end or whatever, like I did last time, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But what we'll be doing with that is we will be filling them in with rosewood dust. Just explain why I put this line of tape down there, because there's a piece, I think, I'm not sure where it is, it could be pine down the centre there, holding the truss rod in, but I don't want to get glue on there, just in case this ever needs to come off in the future. It'll just bring the paper off with it, and we can get back into there. But there's the truss rod. Great thing, great piece of kit. I think it costs 43 English pounds, which is about 44, 45 euros, but it's going to do the job. But anyway, I'm going to get it all ready for gluing. Once I've got it ready to glue, I'm going to bring you back. We're going to get closer in, and I'm going to show you how we tack the fingerboard back on, and then we strap it up just so we can hold it in place and get it all back together. Once that's done, we'll move on to the next part, which will all be about tidying it up. Just sticking the camera on, and what happens, I've got far too much glue on the fingerboard, but that's okay, because we can remove what we don't need. I've already done the neck, and we're just going to get a real liberal coating of glue on the fingerboard. Not worried about any squeeze out whatsoever. Just want to get everything covered. This glue goes tacky really quickly. As you can see, I've got far too much, but again, not a problem. As long as we've got good coverage everywhere, because we will get a lot of squeeze out, and that's fine. So I'm just covering the fingerboard. I've got the 2 pins used for marking already in the fingerboard, and that's it. We have complete coverage. Any major squeeze out I'm going to get rid of straight away anyway. Better to have too much glue than not enough. I think I'm ready to put this on now. The glue on the neck itself has been on there 3 or 4 minutes, so that'll be tacky now. And that's it, we have good coverage everywhere. I'm using an old towel, it's actually the dog's towel. Don't tell him, he won't be happy. But anyway, any major squeeze out we've got on this side here, we're just going to wipe off right now. But again, doesn't really matter. And what I want to do is position the neck where it needs to be. And I find small hammer, we're just going to these pins. And there you go, we are lined up where we need to be, that's fantastic. I'm not going to pull them out anyway. Tape I'm using to get it all wrapped up is some rubber tape, I think, for want of a better description. Rubber band, that's it. Big old fat rubber band. Anyway, just going to get the main squeeze out off. We are going to get a lot of squeeze out, so it's no big deal. This will scrape off really easily later anyway. Just let's not make the job more difficult than it needs to be. And there you go. We have the fingerboard where it needs to be. Right, what we're going to do is, what we're going to attempt to do is we are going to start putting the rubber band around now, which is the best way. Probably better off working this end first. I don't know which end I'm going to work first, so I'm going to go, not going to go that way, I'm going to go this way. And that's it, just get started off, and there you go, and that's it, we are started. Now you can't see what I'm doing. I'm going to stop the camera and I'll come back and show you in a minute. And there you go guys, fingerboard is on. We know it's straight because of the 2 pins we put in, which are still in there somewhere. That's right, one there and one there. Clamped all the way along the length, everything supported. Steel bar across the top there, block of wood there. Underneath, again, blocks of wood, neck rest, blocks of wood. We've got lots of squeeze out there. Lots of squeeze out both sides. I'm going to leave that on there, it'll be easy enough to scrape off later. Let's just have a look. There you go. And I am going to leave that for 24 hours. That one's not on very tight, is it? No, because it's just come off, that's why. Let's have a look again. And there you go, that's beautiful. Going to leave that 24 hours. Once that's done, we're going to get all this off. Get the band off, we're going to scrape the glue off and start to tidy things up. But what we need to do mostly is to make sure that everything is glued correctly, everything's in line. I'm sure it will be, I've done this before. So now it's just, just got to play the waiting game. How are we doing guys? I cracked on a little bit because I was awake at about 4:45 this morning. So I got up at 5 o'clock, straight in the workshop, came in, took the band off the neck and did a bit of clean up, scraped off a bit of glue, and here is the neck after gluing, and it's absolutely bang on. We've still got some clean up to do on the top there. I've done the edges, I've done a bit of scraping as well, still got some clean up to do on the back there, but what I'll be doing is I'll be scraping all of that off anyway, and I'll be re-sanding the whole neck, because we will be re-oiling that. This is par for the course and normal for when you've glued a fingerboard back on. Like I say, there's some little bits of glue on the top there. What I'll do is I'll saturate this in some warm soapy water, and we'll lightly rub that off with a scourer. That'll all come off, absolutely no problem. Still got to level the frets anyway, but look there, look at the seam. Look at the leg, pause that. The seam is beautiful all the way down. It's come out better than I thought it would do actually. I thought there might be a gap or two in there, but it's not. There's a tiny, tiny gap just under my finger there. Nothing to worry about. This side is seamless. It's just glued perfectly. There's a little bit of roughness there. What I'll do is I'll take a scraper, like so, and we'll just scrape that back. Like I said, we're going to be sanding the neck down anyway. Just a light scrape there, just to remove any of the edge in there, tiny bit. And what I'll do is I'll take some 240 to it, sand it all down, finish it off with some 400 grit. This will all come off with a scourer, a scouring pad, you know, a disc off type of thing. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Now these for dishes, and I'll use a scourer side, bit of soapy water on back of there. That'll take all that excess glue right off. We'll be sanding it all back anyway, and then we'll be re-oiling this with, I'll be using some, we'll go with some boiled linseed oil, bring that up a treat. Same on this side once I've got all the crap off there. And I'm also going to be leveling and reprofiling these frets. Quite a lot of work to do still on this, but the gluing back on the neck is fantastic. The truss rod works absolutely fine. I've got a tiny bit of it's just nipped just onto tightness here, and the neck is dead straight, so this has gone really, really well. Couldn't have gone better really. Need to fill these two holes in, one there and one there, which will for the guide pins. We'll just get some rosewood dust in there, some super glue. We'll fill those up. They will be slightly darker than the actual top wood itself, which is good because you'll know it's been done. So yeah, fantastic stuff. So a bit of clean up to do. It's gone I'm just so pleased. We've got the twist out of the neck as well. Let's have a look down the length of the neck there. That's nice and straight. If anything, there's a tiny, tiny twist in there, but it was really pronounced at first. That's not going to be a problem at all. This guitar's going to play great. So really pleased with how that's come out. So I'm going to move on to other things at the moment this afternoon. I've got something I've got to nip out. I've got to nip to the chemist and blah, you know, with coronavirus and all that. I've got to do some essential shopping. I've got to nip to the pharmacy. This band, by the way, there's lots of glue all over that now. I can use this again, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak this. I'll stick this in a bowl of hot soapy water, leave it half an hour, and all this glue here will it'll all dissolve, and we'll just give that a wipe down, and that'll be absolutely fine. So I can use that again. This is 3mm thick, 3mm by 10mm rubber band. Fantastic stuff. You've seen how I use it. So that's it. So I'm going to do a bit of clean up on this neck. May film some, may not. We'll see how it goes. It's all to do with time anyway. But still, we're about halfway through on this now, because it's going to have a fret level, fret profile, all the clean up on the neck, remove all the glue, sand it all back, remove all the excess glue on there. Once the frets are done, we're going to oil it again. What I'm going to do in the meantime, also I'm going to stick it on the guitar. We're going to put some strings on and we're going to check everything. I will be sending this back to Japan in parts. The neck will be off as it came to me, because it'll be a lot cheaper to send it that way. But really pleased with how it's come out. A little tiny bit of a ridge there I just need to remove. Again, not excessive. We'll get some sand on there, some sandpaper. That feels really, really good. So there you go. Back soon. Hey guys, so right down the edge where the fingerboard meets the neck itself, we have on one side just a very, very tiny gap along a little bit of the length. So what we're going to do is we're going to repair that, and I have taken some rosewood dust. Well, this is rosewood and alder dust, and we're just basically filling in this gap. We don't need a lot. It's just a matter of getting it in the gap there, and we're going to run a little bead of super glue along this seam where it meets. and that's going to seal. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sand. We've got to sand the neck back anyway. I'm just going to make sure we have a hole in the super glue. I've got some super glue. It's supposed to be a non-drip, non-seal super glue, but no, the hole has healed up in the top, as it has done every time I've used it. Now, I hate super glue with absolute passion. I always have done, and I probably always will do. Horrible stuff. I always tend to get more on my hands than I do anywhere else. But anyway, we're going to have a go. It's the good stuff. It's expensive stuff, and we're just going to run a bead of super glue down this slot. If it wants to come out, as it appears it doesn't. So I've got far much more super glue on there than I normally would put on there, but that's okay. And I'm just going to run that piece of that down there just to clean it all up. And I'm thinking that's going to be pretty good, but what I'm going to do is going to run some of that over the top just to seal everything. Now I've got it on my fingers, that's new. That's nothing, that's not a problem for me. See if we've got any sandpaper knocking about. I've got some 400 grit here. Let's take a small piece. And that is that gap sealed. Tape. That's fantastic. And there you go. So that's, once I get some 240 grit on here, we'll sand this all back. You can't see that seam at all now. Get some 240 grit on there and we'll sand this all back to smoothness, and you will never know. So that's it, that's that edge sealed. I've got to take some 240 grit to this anyway, just to roughen it up a bit before we oil it. So I've got some 240 knocking about. I'm going to need this piece for my levelling beam, so I'll leave that bit there and just grab a piece. Here you go. Give me a second. Got some 240, could even go with some 120, I've got plenty of 120 knocking about. Some 240 there, again. Could we get some of this on a block and do it properly, which I'm going to do in a bit. If I want to take a scraper, that's going to do the job much better. And there you go, that's coming up nice. So I'm going to sand this all smooth now. That's looking beautiful. That's exactly what I was looking for. There's one small, I did see a small crack down here somewhere, but it seems to have gone. Maybe I've already filled it. But that now just needs sanding back. Once this is all oiled up, you will never know. And that has come out really, really nicely. So, you just get all the final sanding done on this. I'm going to get some 240 grit on a sanding block. We're going to reprofile the neck. We're going to smooth all this down, both sides. That feels really good. Bit more work to do here, I can feel it. Yeah, that's really nice. And once that's done, we can get back to, we're not going to oil it yet, we're going to work on the frets sometime this afternoon. So, off camera, going to get all this sorted out, all sanded, ready, all sanded nice and smooth, ready for oiling at a later date. We're going to come back, we're going to get this all back on the neck jig, and we're going to level the frets and get the frets profiled today. Just finishing up the other side, got some 240 grit. I've already made sure everything's sealed down the edge so you can't tell where the fingerboard joins the neck, and I'm just smoothing off everything. So I've got some 240 grit, and that's going really, really well. I'll tell you now, you can't feel the transition between fingerboard and neck now. It's just fantastic. That feels really, really good. Just see if I can get this in. I think I'm not that dead straight. Oh, we'll make do. We'll make do. Just want to get the top. In fact, I might want to do it this way. Get the heel in there. And I'm just gonna sand everything over. Once I've got this all sanded over, it's going to take the oil much better. No need to go up the headstock. That, my friends, is fantastic. That is good enough. Now what I'll do is I'll give this a squirt of naphtha. What else to do is remove any grease. If there is any, there won't be any, but just in case. It'll dry the wood out slightly as well, which is great. May not look like it now, but trust me. This rag will do. I'll do this again before I oil the neck anyway, but we're going to move on and level the frets in a minute. I'm just going to do the same here. A little squirt of naphtha. Plenty on there, don't like a match. Wipe off all the excess there, and this is now ready. We'll all be ready to take oil, and that is it. So that is the neck all prepared, ready for oiling. Very, very, oh, that's so smooth. That feels so good. You see no transition from fingerboard to neck. Let me just see if I can get some on camera there. I will show you in depth later, you'll see more, but you cannot, you don't know that's been gone. What I've got to do next is fill in these two holes, the pilot holes for the pins. So we got it on level, and then we can move on to the frets. Sorry if the camera angle's not brilliant, but it's the best I can do. I've got a zoom, or I've got a wide angle lens on there, and it's about as far away as I can get it from the base itself. So the base, Just been and checked the radius. Now, according to information on the internet, a Warwick streamer should have a 20-inch radius fingerboard. Well, that is not right, because I've just checked it and it is 16-inch. So we've got a 16-inch radius, even though all the books say it should be a 20. Now I'm going to take a 20-inch radius gauge here. I'm just going to show that it's nowhere near, because it cocks up there and it cocks up there. I would be saying it's about a 16-inch radius, and it is a 16-inch radius, because that fits perfectly. So I'm going to radius these frets to 16. Now, I've already been across with fret rocker. We've got the neck dead straight on my jig, all strapped in. Been across with fret rocker, marked off the frets that have got high spots. And I've marked where the high spots are. For instance, on this fret, all the way across. So I'll rub that off. Next fret should be okay. So I'm just going to check again before I take a file to the frets. So I'm just remarking everything. I've not got anything written down. Just going to do it all with pen. It doesn't want to go on there looking at that. There are about 12 or 13, well, I think it was 11 frets that I've got high spots. It's always going to happen all the way across on that one. It's always going to happen when you've got a warped neck or a twisted neck. So anyway, take my word for it, I've already been across all of these frets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 frets with high spots. Now these ones at this end, they're not very high at all, but just a little bit high, so I can just take an aggressive leveling file. This one I got from Chris Allsop, perfectly flat, diamond cut, great file this, and we're just going to skin over these at this end. Like so. Check again. That one's still a little bit high. That one's certainly fine now. A little bit high there, but we'll just go again. Nice aggressive file this one. This won't take long. And rather than set up the radius beam, 16-inch, I'm just going to do this with a flat beam or a leveling beam. I'm going to basically take my steel piece of box section 2x1, perfectly flat, both these edges, and I am going to stick some 240 grit on there, and I'm just going to go across the lot. But first, for the first run, I'm just going to go with this file, and now these are all level at this end. A lot of work has gone into this base, as you can see. I've already been paid for this. He paid me this morning, which is always nice. To do here. And there you go, so right up to here, we're fine. Here, going to concentrate on these three next. I mean, the idea with these was not to do a proper fret level or a massive fret level. It was all about getting the frets reprofiled, which I've not charged for a level. I'm charging for reprofiling. So what I'm doing now is extra. I'm not charging for it. He's paid enough for this base. Moving on to the last couple of frets. And there you go, we seem to be more or less level now. Now that is not the end of the levelling. I've only done it with a short file and I need to do it with a long levelling beam. And what I need is I need this pen to disappear in 2 or 3 strokes, because then I'll know that all these frets are level. Now I do have a really long beam knocking about somewhere, which I may just get some sandpaper on there and check. I think this pen's running out. That's not lasted long. Let me get another one. Oh, that's why it's the wrong one. That's why this is the pen that's really good. There you go. That was the running out pen. This is the pen that does the job. So I'm going to take a long beam and do all of these in one go. And we'll see where we are. Like I say, this is all about profiling these frets, not so much levelling. We didn't need a lot of levelling. Obviously, because I've twisted the neck back into its proper position, some frets have become wonky. Always going to happen when you've got a twisted neck. Now if its neck wasn't twisted, this job would have been a lot cheaper, because I wouldn't have had to do all this, and I wouldn't have had to fix the twist in the neck, so it would have been probably charged 250 quid rather than what I have charged. Guys paid a lot of money to get this done, but it's still cheaper than having it done in Japan. Considering the amount of hours it's had, you know, I've charged it fairly. So there we go. I don't have a levelling beam or a radius beam papered up yet, so I'm going to get some paper on one of the beams and I'm going to come back and I'm going to get these frets levelled properly. And here we are with my levelling beam all sanded up, 240 grit on there, ready to go. And we're just going to go them down 2 or 3 times. All that many times. That seems pretty good to me. One more go with the pen, just see how we are. So as you can see, we're now flattening the tops of the frets. But we are going to be reprofiling. That's what this was all about. A few more frets to level than I thought. The frets weren't uneven before I got the twist out of the neck, but that was always going to happen. Getting the twist out is going to alter the relationship of the frets. Don't forget the fingerboard's been off the guitar and glued back on. That's always going to alter things as well. So there we are. So I'm thinking now a few strokes of this and we should be perfectly level. That should be on there. So there you go, that's all of the pen gone. Those frets are now level. If I take the fret rocker and check these, we should find that all the frets are level. What have I done on my fret rocker? Here it is. Here it is. Let's check. So the frets are now level. The twist has been removed from the neck. The neck is dead straight. Fingerboard's been off. New truss-rods been put in. Fingerboard's gone back on. I've reprofiled the neck, sanded all that. So all I need to do after this, and these frets are bang on. What I need to do after this is I'm going to get the fingerboard taped up, just with the frets exposed, and we're going to re-crown these frets. By re-crown, where I've made them flat across the top, I'm going to build that crown up going this way. Build that crown up again. Then we're going to polish them. So we've still got another day in this. Hours wise, what's this guitar had? I don't know if I'm counting the hours. Let's go anything between 25 and 35 hours has gone on this bass. Probably not that much. Let's say 25 hours ish. But then it's been spread out over time. It's been a fantastic job, this one. And that's it, the frets are level. Just check, I've got Veritas Precision Straight Edge. Just have a look where we are, see if we have any gaps anywhere. And that is fantastic, there are no gaps anywhere, no rocking, that is superb. Frets are level. Just got to take a picture for the client while I'm here. I've been updating KT with photos all the way through. It'll look this one. Right, so I'm going to send him that one. So that's it, frets are now level. We are now ready for crowning. Now I'm going to zip away, get the fingerboard taped up, ready for crowning the frets, and then I'm going to crown the frets. Okay guys, moving on. Recrowning the frets, or crowning the frets. Which I've explained before, which you've seen many times, but I'm also doing to the benefit of a friend of mine over at Leicestershire, Luthier.co.uk, Danny Lynn. I said I'm going to show him this file I've got for crowning frets. And this is, I used to in the old days, used to crown them with a three-pointed file, triangle file, one of these gubbins. And love working with this, just a matter of going across, and as you far side you roll it in to the fret that side, and near side you roll it into a fret that side, and you rebuild, or you build up a crown using this file. Don't do that anymore. The Z file from StuMac, an amazing piece of kit. It has two cuts. It has a wide cut and a short cut on that side. Turn it over, short cut and a wide cut, and what this does is this will create that curve or that crown for you. And I'm going to do it on fret 4. It's just 3 or 4 strokes. It's a diamond encrusted file. I don't know what grade it is, how fine it is or whatever, but I just know it works fine. It cost me 125 quid and it's worth every penny. And there you go. 3 or 4 strokes each side, and we've got a nice thin black line down the centre of that fret. So the crown is more or less built. I'm just going to give it a wipe. Always give the file a wipe. I'm going to go a little bit more because that line down that centre is not fine enough. Give it a blow. Go again. And there you go, nice thin line down the centre. I'm then going to finish off with, I'm just going to wipe this file. I'm going to finish off with my favourite crowning file. I'm just going to remove any inconsistencies or any burrs I've left. And that fret is done. Hey guys, I know the light's not very good because we're just entering dusk time here in England. It is just about 5 minutes past 8 in the PM in the evening. And I've just about finished polishing the frets. I've been through with 6 different grits of paper. This is grit 2000. I've been through 6 grits, 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1500 and now 2000. And once this is done, I'm going to finish off with the finest grade steel wool, which is super fine. But I'm just going to show how I do this, and it's just a matter of getting into the corners of each fret, then going over the top, and going on the far side, so both edges inside, and over the top, and this is a final polish. And once this is done, like I say, I'll be finishing off with steel wool. They're coming up really nice and shiny, scratch free. And it's going to take me a little more time to get these on. I just wanted to show the process. In fact, I'm going to come down this end and show you where we are. There you see we are polishing, but it's just a matter of wetting the back of the finger there, clean part of the paper, over the top, into the corner on the other side, and back over the top. Just bringing that to a beautiful shine. Again, another fresh piece of paper. Carry on until I've got all 24 done. But like I say, once these are done, I'll finish off with steel wool. These will be scratch free, they'll be like glass. They'll be super shiny, and we can peel back the tape. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the nut back on. I've already glued the nut base into place. Put the nut back on and get some strings on, set it up. Once it's all set up and I'm happy with the setup, I'm going to remove the neck. We're going to do the final sanding on the neck, and I'm going to oil it. There's no point taking it off, oiling it, then putting it back on the guitar and doing the setup. I may as well do the setup when it's like this. Anyway, I'm going to crack on, get the rest of these polished. Once they're done, like I say, I'll set the guitar up, get that checked. So when I'm happy with that, we'll come back and I'll show you me oiling the neck, and we'll get it all ready to ship. Okay guys, that is the frets polished. Went with the 6 grits of paper as mentioned earlier, finished off with the finest grade steel wool. At the end it's just a matter of a bit of up and down the bevels like so, and once we've done the bevels it's a matter of going across, straight across the top, getting each side in the corners, finish across the top again, and these are scratch free and they've come out like glass. So shiny. You're probably really not going to see in this light, but they are fantastic. So what I'm going to do is we're going to peel off the tape, and this is why I put these strips of tape underneath. It just makes it so much easier to peel everything away. And bear in mind the fingerboard has not been oiled, it will need oiling yet, but these frets should pop out. Really pleased with the neck's straight. There you go, how much easier is that? You still sometimes get a little bit left behind like so. Just dig into there. Yeah, fantastic stuff. I'm just going to, in a minute, I'm just going to oil the fingerboard, or just oil a bit of the fingerboard just to show you. I can't really hold the fingerboard up to the camera because the guitar's still strapped in on the jig because it is. What I'm going to do now is though, before I oil the neck proper, or the fingerboard proper, I'm going to set the base up as it is. Get the nut back on there, get it all set up, because once I've got it set up how I want it, then I can remove the neck and I can sand it and oil it properly, because I'm going to send the guitar back to Japan how it came, in parts, not as a whole guitar. That way it's cheaper to ship and there's less chance of it getting damaged in transit. But there you go, That is the frets. They look so good. Let's have a look. I've got to. Yeah, they are amazing. They are oh, wow. They are so good. I'm going to take a photo of that for the owner of the guitar just to send. 1 second. I forgot where I'm supposed to pick up this video, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to squirt a little bit of mineral oil on the fingerboard just to show how this fingerboard's going to look and how the frets look in comparison to how they were. And they look amazing. And just give it a wipe over. And there you go, and that looks fantastic. The frets look amazing, they look brand new. In effect, the guy's getting a brand new neck. We've removed the twist, so the neck is now dead straight. I've levelled the frets. It's got a new truss rod in there. We'll remove the fingerboard to get the truss rod in. And that's it. So like I said, what I'm going to do, look at those frets. My goodness, they look amazing. Just bring you in. It looks so good. You see them? They are, they're like brand new frets. They're fantastic. So, now I'm going to set the base up. We're going to put the nut back on. I've glued the nut shelf in there. There's a nut knocking about somewhere. What have I done with it? Probably put that somewhere stupid. Oh, that's alright, it's in the pack. Great thing about these Warwick nuts are they are adjustable. Let me show you. There's the plate with 2 prongs on there, and this sits on top. You've got 2 Allen key holes here, and it's adjustable high and low. So you can adjust the nut, which is fantastic. I'm going to set the base up. Let me just bring it back to how we were. I'm going to set the base up. Got a new set of strings. This is not part of what I'm being paid to do, but I include a setup with all work I do anyway. So I'm going to set the guitar up off camera, just make sure everything works alright. Here you go, that's good. And like I say, once it's set up, I'm going to remove the neck. I'm going to get it all packed up, ready for shipping. Before I do that, the neck itself, I've got to sand it back, reprofile, and I've got to oil the neck. I'm going to give it 2 or 3 coats of boiled linseed oil. This is my, this is what I do. For some reason I can't do this strap. What have I done there? Quiet. There you go, and that's it. So the base is now ready for a setup. I might as well spray the whole fingerboard while I'm here. Those frets look astoundingly good. Just checking the neck straight. The neck is super straight. So I'm going to squirt some of this on and just let it soak in a while. Like I say, I'm going to set the guitar up off camera. I'm going to check everything's working alright. Once it is, I'm going to remove the neck and I'm going to bring you back in. I'm going to show you how we're going to finish off the neck. We'll do a little bit of sanding and we're going to get some oil, a few coats of oil on there. So there you go. I'm going to let that sit in there, soak for 15-20 minutes because the wood was really dry, or the fingerboard was really dry. But look at that neck now. Doesn't that look beautiful? Very, very good. So regarding the setup, I've just finished setting up the guitar. The intonation's right. I've set the action a little bit low. We're about 1.6, 1.75 on the high hit with 12 fret, and we're about 2.6 on the lower string. E, A, D, G. That's the G string, the E string. The G string are about what are we? 2 I'll just measure it again. We might be under 2 mil. I forgot. let's get to where we are. About 1.8 mil, which is super. And on the E, about 2.6 mil, lovely low action. I've set the radius to 16 inch on the bridge there, just altered the saddles. Guitar plays fantastic. So that's all I want to do. So now all the guy's got to do when it gets back to Japan, this bass, is put the strings on, stretch them in, the intonation's done, the saddles are right. So all I've got to do now is, going to remove the neck again, ready for shipping, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do final sanding on this neck. I'm going to give it a right good sand. Don't need to remove the tuners. I'm going to remove them anyway, just so I can oil the neck. But we're going to sand it all to where it needs to be. Astonishing job, this. I am so pleased with the neck. That neck is dead straight. Don't know if you can see from there. It is fantastic. Really, really pleased with how it's come out. But we're going to get it all sanded back to how I want it. Then I'm going to give it 2 or 3 coats of boiled linseed oil. Once that's done, we can get it all boxed up, ready to go back to Japan. I've got it priced up. I can get it sent back to Japan for insured for £700. Get it there for round about, I think it's just shy of £130, which isn't too bad. So we're going to get it all boxed up this weekend. But anyway, a little bit more to do. So we're going to get these edges all sanded in. I'm going to show you them. We're going to oil the neck and I'm going to bring it in really, really close. And I'm going to show you the, I mean, this is seamless where the fingerboard has gone on the neck. You can't see it at all. So I'm really looking forward to showing you that. Second one of these Warwick necks, I have replaced the truss rod on. And it has gone again so well. It came with a twist in the neck, which I didn't know about at first. We've got rid of the twist. I've got the neck dead straight. I am so pleased with what I've done so far. So it's just finishing off now. Not a lot more to do. Come back soon. Okay guys, so I've set the bass up as it should be set up. Got a nice low action on the strings, a little bit of relief from the neck. We've got the neck dead straight. Set the intonation. I've also set the radius on the saddles to 16 inches. It's supposed to be a 20 inch radius on this neck. I'm sorry, but I've measured it a couple of times and it's a 16 inch radius. So we've done that. So everything, the guitar is set up. It's under string tension. So all the owner has to do when he gets this back is put the strings on, stretch them in, tune it in, and that will be it. So now all that remains for me to do is I'm going to remove the strings, remove the neck, remove the tuners. We're going to sand this ready for oiling the neck. I've not oiled it. I'm so pleased with the work I've done on this. The neck is dead straight, excuse me, I've just eaten my dinner. It was twisted this end, which I didn't know about until he'd sent it. We've managed to sort that out, so we've got the neck dead straight. You cannot see the join between the fingerboard where it joins the neck. I am so pleased with the work I've done on this. It's the second one I've done, a truss rod replacement on a Warwick neck. This was easier than the first one, obviously, because I knew what I was doing this time around. The first time I did it, I didn't. So, like I say, all I need to do now is sand it all back, ready for oiling. Get it all oiled up, 2 or 3 coats over there. It's going to take, we're going to let it sit a couple of hours between coats. I'm going to coat it, I'm going to oil it using boiled linseed. Once that's done, we can get it all packed up and shipped back to Japan. I'm sending it with Parcel Force priority. It's costing, I think it's costing 130 odd pounds, insured up to 700 quid. So that's not a bad price at all. And that's really it. So come back, we'll get this finished off and we'll get it away. Not a lot to do now. I've done this side of the neck and I'm going to show you exactly what I've done by doing the other side. So in the vise, clamped in, supported each side, clamped in the vise. And what we're going to do is, we're going to feel along this seam, we're going to feel for a little bit of a protrusion. We've got a little bit there where we glued on, just a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to scrape away this little bit of the neck just to bring it right up to the fingerboard. And it's not a difficult job, and this is a great thing about having a satin neck. And you'll see there we're scraping off material, and it's just to bring it all in line. We're just scraping off a little bit just from the edge of the neck where it joins the fingerboard there. And this does happen because when you're clamping on the fingerboard, it tends to just widen the neck just that little bit. But this has all helped with the rigidity of the neck, getting it straight again, getting that twist out, and it's going to hold everything in place. We always get a little bit of this, but that should be just a little bit there. And what we're going to do is, once we've got to where we want to be, we're going to sand. I'm going to use 3 grits. I'm going to use some 120, some 240, and finish off with some 400. We're also going to edge the bevels on the frets because they're protruding just a little bit, and it's very, very easy to do that. Do it same as when I'm doing a refret. We just take a sanding block with some 400 grit paper on there. And this is not going to alter the profile of the neck, by the way. It is going to be a tiny bit thinner, but not anything you're going to feel. They're a good solid neck, these Warwick necks. That's feeling pretty good. Still a little bit more. And that's feeling pretty good. So a little bit more there. And I think we're just about there. So from there we're going to take some 120 grit. I'm just going to stand this in. Just going to smooth it all off. I've already done the other side, exactly the same job. All this edge has been done. Beautiful. A little bit rough. Goes over some finer grit in a second. And that is feeling really nice. Next, some 240. Same again. This end's all been done anyway. That, my friends, oh, that is beautifully smooth now. That is so nice. And just to do these fret edges, some 400 on a sanding block. It's pre-used 400 grit. I've done a couple of refrets with this, and it's just a matter of just going over, just smoothing off, and then we're just going to slightly take the edge off these bevels on these frets, just bring them back, just so they're nice and smooth on the finger when you play. And that, my friends, is the neck all sanded, ready for oiling. I don't even need to remove the tuners. I probably will remove the tuners just to get some right on that back end of the headstock, but that is so smooth. You can't see it. I'm going to try and show a little bit to the camera because you're looking at where I've glued the fingerboard back onto the neck. See that seam? There's no gaps. It's completely gapless. I'll hold it there so you can look. Same again there. Just a beautiful, that is so smooth. This side as well. Right, let's turn it round along this seam here. Just beautiful. And there. And that neck, my friends, is dead straight. We've got the twist out of it. Try and get it right on the camera there. It's about as good as I can get it. So beautiful, really, really pleased. We are now ready. Just going to sand this little bit here off camera, and then we're going to give it a couple of coats of oil, and the neck will be ready to go back to Japan. well, the whole base was going back to Japan. Oil in the neck, really simple. Neck has been sanded right back to 400 grit. It's seamless down here, it looks fantastic. We've kept the profile. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to just give a few coats of oil, boiled linseed oil. Really simple. If I can get the bottle open, which I can. I'm just going to apply it on the back of some kitchen roll. Wearing gloves for obvious reasons. Got a towel down for obvious reasons. It's the dog's towel, you'll not be happy if he knows I'm using it, but all we're going to do is just coat it in oil. I will do the fingerboard as well, only one application on the fingerboard, but that is it. It is not a difficult job at all. I'll let it soak in a good while and then we'll wipe it off. A little bit on the headstock while we're at it. Just going to put one layer on the headstock because that's already been touched. We'll see how we go. I'll play it by ear. That's pretty much it. You know, what is difficult about this? Correct nothing. Gonna let that dry a couple of hours, come back, give it another coat, give it a few more coats. While I'm here, I may as well give it one coat. Fingerboard. And that really is it. Like I say, I'm going to get 2 or 3 more coats over the course of the afternoon. Once that's done, and get it all packaged up to go back to Japan. Job very well done. And there you go. Not a difficult job at all. Okay guys, here we are, all finished. The Warwick Streamer LX base neck came in with a snap truss rod, so we had to remove the fingerboard, replace the truss rod. It also came with a twist in the neck that way, which I've repaired. Just have a look down the line there, no twist. I'm hoping you can see that. Maybe this way is a little bit better, a little bit easier. Look at the seam where I glued the fingerboard back on. We've sanded it all back. I've given it 3 coats of boiled linseed oil. It's also had a fret redress, fret level, fret dress, fret polish, and everything has just come out fantastic. So I'm ready to ship this back to Japan. Belongs to TK, a friend of mine. That's his initials, TK. He saw my video on the Warwick Corvette base I did a couple of years ago where I did the same job. Decided to send it over to me. He said it's cheaper for him to send it to me and pay me what I wanted than it is to have it even looked at by a luthier in Japan. So he says he's going to send me another base next month when he gets this one back. And he's going to be sending them regular. I'm going to work on all his bases, so that's fantastic news. What a great job this has been. Like I say, it is the second one. I'm so pleased with how this has turned out. It's fantastic. Getting the twist out as well, it is no mean feat, but we got rid of that. It's the second one I've done, like I did one a couple of years ago for John. When I got this one in, I talked to John, asked him how his neck was out the one I did 3 years ago on the Corvette. Go check that out on my old videos. I says, is it still straight? Because his was twisted, warped, bent in any conceivable way you could imagine. And he says, yeah, it's still straight as a die, it's amazing. So I was confident I could get this one done anyway. and it's come out really, really well. So project finished. It's been a fun one, but I'm getting ready to ship this and the rest of the parts back to Japan. I've got all the parts in a bag there. I've got the body in a box there. We're going to strap it all up really nice. It's costing, to cost this back insured for £700 with Royal Mail. Well, it's not Royal Mail, it's Parcel Force Priority. It's going to cost about £131. It should be there in 3 or 4 days. That's the route I am going. And like I say, I'll repeat what a great project it's been, but it is done. So just before I go, I'm going to remind you of my website, facebook.com/ng17. That's facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. You can also check fretfriend.co.uk. Before I do go, with CV-19 virus about and everyone in lockdown, I have closed the shop, but I'm only closed to people knocking at the door. If you want to ship a guitar to me for work, by all means do so. My contact information is on my Facebook page. You can email me, you can phone me, you can do whatever you want. Like I say, I'm only taking guitars in if you're prepared to ship them and I ship them back. I will do the work. Probably only going to want to do that for major work like fret work or refrets. I've got a refret or two in at the moment. I've got people sending me guitars. They are willing to do so. There is a queuing system. If I can accommodate you, I will take you in. But like I say, only if you ship the guitar to me. I'm not accepting anyone at the door. But that is it. Project is finished. It's been fantastic. I do have another one of these necks coming in, believe it or not. If you want a Warwick neck fixing or looking at, send it to me. I will do it. I'm building up a reputation for getting these done. That's the second one of these I've done. I've got another one due in. So yeah, but anyway, you've got to send it by mail. Don't knock at my door. But that is it. Project is finished. It's been a great one. I'm already looking forward to the next one. But until next time, boys and girls, as always, for one, stay safe. Only go out if you really need to. Stay safe. God bless you. Be good to each other. And I'll see you on the next one.